hangover from last night. Hey guys, how you doing? Live. And I usually have a deck of cards. Yeah, I'm just getting things ready for the haunted house coming up. That's going to be live. That is going to have the fake blood in it. So, I'm going to show you these. I'm going to get a close look at these. These small ones, not the big ones. I'm going to change the camera over. Excuse me, how is everybody doing today? We're live. And just kind of show you a little bit here. In my hand, you kind of wonder where deck of cards come from. A lot of people do not know the history of a deck of cards. Where they originate from. All decks of cards, no matter if they're Yu-Gi-Oh cards, no matter if they are Magic cards, whatever name is printed on them, they all come from, all cards are printed off of a main pattern, factory pattern, that are duplicated from, but with different names, but is relation and printed off of the tarot cards, because each one of those cards will represent a tarot card, an original tarot card. So no matter if it's a deck of cards, regular deck of cards, because the actual deck of cards itself was printed from tarot cards, because in one time in history there was only the very first deck of cards that was ever invented were the tarot cards. And which the tarot cards was actually printed from this what we call a spirit board, and which is in a German kind of name, which is for Norwegian, which was pronounced Ouija. So that's where all your deck of cards come from. So it all relates back to the Ouija board. All deck of cards do, because that's where the main pattern of the tarot cards came from. Was firstly, when they were first invented, were printed from, and then after that, over history, came the regular deck of cards. Over time and generation, because the originals, every original, each one of these, all these cards here, did actually come from, would be printed off of the tarot cards. Original tarot cards, because all the tarot cards had, the only difference was the tarot cards had the actual symbols, and the had the numbers and all that in them, in numeral numbers. So all these English numbers would be in numeral numbers, and these little things would be different, like little different from symbols. So, like I said, the regular deck of cards, guys, does have been printed off the tarot cards. No matter if they're regular playing cards, no matter if they're Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Magic cards, Pokemon cards, whatever, they all have ground roots back to the tarot cards, because that's exactly where they've been printed off of. So every one of those cards, and if you relate it back to a tarot card, everything on a regular deck of cards, or everything that is printed on a regular deck of cards, or printed on a set of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, symbols, even Yu-Gi-Oh symbols, all match and example a symbol of a tarot card. And a lot of people do not know that. And so like I said, so Yu-Gi-Oh has got, basically Yu-Gi-Oh cards are considered part of the Ouija board itself, because that is exactly where all regular deck of cards, and where all the patterns for the tarot cards, and after that, followed in behind that, all your regular deck of cards are printed off of, even your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So it's been printed off. Those same symbols have been used. So just so I give you guys a little history on where your regular deck of cards actually come from. A lot of people did not actually go into the study of it. So again, it all relates back to one another. So technically, you have a bit of a relation. Like, see, for an example, in a regular deck of cards, the Joker would represent the Fool on a tarot card. So again, like I said, it is each number, each pattern is actually printed from those tarot cards. And the tarot cards were, when they were first founded, were printed off the Ouija board. So again, it is one big happy family. They all go together. So, like I said, that is so there's a little bit of history. So think about that too when you do also think about where your Yu-Gi-Oh cards originally come from when you're actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And so again, like Yu-Gi-Oh, that's what they say Yu-Gi-Oh is tarot cards, but with different style of symbols. Now there is tarot card companies that have updated the tarot cards and made new sets of tarot cards using the Yu-Gi-Oh symbols, and that kind of stuff as well. That are actual tarot cards, because that's exactly where a regular deck of cards, and that's where originally your Yu-Gi-Oh cards are printed from. There is no difference. They're not different from each other. They're actually of the same relation, and same connection, and that kind of stuff as well. So people that have issues with the one, you might as well have issues with them all, because that's exactly where they all come from. So if people have issue with one thing, then you might as well have issues with Yu-Gi-Oh. You might as well have issues with a regular deck of cards as well, because that's exactly where your regular deck of cards come from, relates back to, and your Yu-Gi-Oh cards all automatically have been designed from relates right back to the Ouija board. So. Again, if you actually read your study on where they're coming from, so like I said, that is think about that the next time people go to open their mouth and judge. So again, like I said, there's that even goes for like a lot of the Bible thumping people. Like I said, it is history. You can read up on where they come from, and you'd be surprised what you read on the internet. Actually, read in documentaries, because there has been an actual full documentary on where originally your regular deck of cards are birthed from, where your Yu-Gi-Oh cards are birthed from, and all your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, guys, all your regular playing cards do actually have been printed off the Ouija board over the last few decades, because that's where originally they all relate back to. So again, that's how the actual cycle of the playing cards started over history, because it is each number, each symbol has, all they've done is just changed them around a bit. Same with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards have been printed from tarot cards, and tarot cards have been printed off of Spirit Ouija boards and that kind of stuff. So all your regular playing cards, all your Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you play are actually labeled as being tarot cards, because of the birth printing of them. When they were first designed and came out. So that's exactly where all the patterns relate back to. That's where they all relate to. That's where they all converse right back to. So again, there's a little history on those. Get down. And that kind of stuff too. And and that's why, even if you look at the Jack of Spades in a regular deck of cards, that's why it represents the devil, because it represents the devil. It actually represents the devil card on the original tarot card, and that kind of stuff as well. And there's a lot of different patterns out there, and that in different sizes. Get down! I told you not to disrupt, cat. Lay down, bud. Thank you. And so there's a little history there that a lot of people did not know about. and that kind of stuff. You can actually read up on it on different internet sites and that kind of thing, where the regular deck cards come from, and it'll say right there where it's got it goes into the whole history of it. So anyhow, just doing a quick, and also too, like we have a haunted house coming up, and coming up in the end of October. Also, too, guys, if you actually really look at the Yu-Gi-Oh symbols, like the sheet I showed you the other night with the different satanic symbols, those satanic symbols are printed on Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And they're actual tarot. They're actual tarot card symbols. Down. A lot of people don't notice that or see that. But like I said, again, I don't have any personal issues with those kind of things. And like I said, I've used them before, but those that do, you might as well have an issue with regular playing cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because they all relate back to the spirit board, because that's where they all been printed off of over time and history. The one big happy family. Get down. Man, it's getting the sun's up and down a lot. So again, I got my candy hearts out. I'll put those over there. Again, I got my candy hearts out here. See, with my skull, and the big colorful glass jug with an actual lid so I can put the blood in it. Where the fake blood's gonna go into it. Haunted house. So again, there's your history about where your regular playing cards come from. And so anyhow, there is the fake blood that's gonna go into the container. Well, you guys can see I got a big plastic double axe, a PS2 rifle, which, by the way, is a PS2 game machine rifle, and back there, and Pringles Pete's back there with his can of Pringles, and man, the salami's hot. Somebody by this mild. Man, this is spicy. Talk about being spicy. Yeah, I do love spicy stuff, but I mean, this is very spicy. And so again, that's there's a little bit of history there for you. And Halloween, I think it's not going to be so nice. Halloween, we're looking at probably getting, if the snow squalls or snowstorm hits Edmonton, Alberta, then we're going to be next to get it. So I think we're going to have a cold and very what you call Christmassy white Halloween. But Halloween night usually goes on as continuously with the trick-or-treaters, but basically, as long as anyone have to keep warm that night, if we get temperature drops down to very cold weather, and we're in like 17 centimeters of snow. I know you never know what it does here in Ontario, Canada, and that kind of stuff as well. Especially Wyerton here, it is. We get the snow so deep here. It's not funny. It's way probably up to our necks or whatever. So bad we have to use like what you call horseshoes. And that. Well, yeah, I want to get the mild salami. Like, it's good, great Canadian meat salami, but that's good, but this is the extra spicy stuff. There's like a farmer's market store here, you can buy them. It's not factory preserved, it's actually fresh. Fresh farm salami, pepperoni stuff. Made from the farmers itself, from their own cattle. Hey, go. And they use some type of spices that they make the salami pepperonis out of, right? Which is kind of cool. And so far, I have not seen much of MFers lately. So I don't know if it's Mike doing it now, or if it's somebody else. But I'm actually doing well. And alright, so I didn't go too long last night with the Haunted Fireplace because last night we were on very late. And again, I was getting everything kind of up to Dashboard Twitch TV as well, which does take the longest time and everything. And so that's on there, and then some of the stuff we were getting up, excuse me, getting up on YouTube and that. And also, too, guys, I did buy a new pack of, I bought myself another pack of the large playing cards. And 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 just getting everything all fixed up here. And probably as a backup up tonight, probably after I do Before Darkfall, before we do our nightly After Dark theater, haunted house theater countdown, whatever, with the Haunted Fireplace. Before then, I'm probably going to sit back and probably just going to, while I'm off camera, sit back, watch a few movies and that kind of stuff. We had a good start to the haunted theater. Where for 4 bets there, we were able to slide in a few, showcase a few movies. But now we're gonna move on to something different because the softwares are starting to sneak in and sitting in on the sessions. And so some of the agents are sliding in on the sessions now. Sometimes they do. Sometimes you can get past them. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't even. If it's like a long weekend, and like if it's a long government weekend and everything's closed, nobody's working, then you probably sneak stuff in. But then there's certain times where if they're what you call on duty, uh, or not, they'll sit in on your live streams, and they see anything on there that you're playing like a cartoon or something, and they don't like it, they'll you'll end up getting a copyright notice. I never failed. So to get around those, we kind of slide off and do something different. Um, so again, we kind of do different. We kind of change our program around a bit because we know when to change it. So and that kind of stuff. So when we start seeing some of the agents start peeking through on our live streams, then we change our program very quickly. We don't like to tickle a monkey in the butt as much as possible, even though it is funny. That kind of stuff as well. So again, this is again a bit of a history session as well. I also do have a science book here too as well, and one of those kind of picture science books shows you different things to do with science and that kind of stuff as well. And excuse me. And again, I'm just sitting back, having a few Dr. Peppers and that kind of stuff too. There is more and more, excuse me, more and more dummies being made, slowly bit by bit. Oh, sorry about that. The salami's not going down as good. Very thicker than usual. Um, so again, I got a couple more. I don't have no more vacuum cleaners, but I do have. I have extra newspaper and stuff like that to stuff some more dummies. For the live haunted house for Halloween night. So again, we are going to have spiritual connections again, probably right on Devil's Night and Halloween night. So that way, because like I said, that the only time that comes out is Halloween night. Or Devil's Night. Last night was more of a demonstration. Not last night, but the night before was more of a demonstration, and kind of a history of it, a little bit. So basically just sharing its history and that kind of thing, and what would have been used in the haunted hunter's cabin or whatever that brought the two headless headhunters apparitions back, and that kind of thing as an apparitions. Um, to kind of make the legend more spookier and that kind of thing as well. That the main horror legend of Hunter's cabin itself, what basically it relates to, and what gives it but would have basically what we think would have gave it its power or whatever. Um, So again, there was a little bit of history there, and also too, like last night we had the haunted fireplace, and we'll keep that since now I got the fireplace working, and now man, that was working big time last night, and that. So I mean, some nights I got to sit there for 2 hours or 6 hours just to kind of flicker the switch for it to come on, and. And that kind of thing. Well, I didn't have to do that last night. One click and it's on. But yeah, so again, we're experiencing kind of probably right now. We're just still experiencing a little bit of finishing up the hot weather. But just by the way I was reading the forecast yesterday, if I was reading it correctly on Facebook, that Edmonton, Alberta is supposed to be having a big snowstorm coming their way. A tornado snowstorm coming their way. And usually anything that happens in Edmonton, Alberta, Ontario's basically gets hit next from it. It'd be nice if it bypasses us like most storms do have this summer. But when it comes down to an actual snow tornado, I think no matter what, we're gonna get. They'll get the major worst of it, and then we'll get the tail end of it. So technically, we're gonna be like down sitting in like 15 centimeters of snow or 17 centimeters of snow by Halloween night. Halloween night, guys, is very predictable because we never know what it's gonna do around here on Halloween night. If it's gonna be raining, that thunderstorm, snowstorm, windy, high wind storms, whatever. Um, Halloween is usually the worst night of like at the end of October. It's always doing something. Now last year, guys, Halloween, a lot of Halloween last year because it was so nice out. It was nice. We still had the hot, warm weather on Halloween, especially on up to Halloween night, which was October 31st. It was nice hot out. It was nice hot weather. People out in their shorts, t-shirts and sandals. And I remember one year it stayed like that nice all the way up to Christmas. I was shocked because there was no snow. It was like all July and August weather all through December, and the golf courses were supposed to close by mid-October, November. And they reopened them because the heat was so bad, and everybody was in their shorts in December, and they were out golfing in December. Not used that like you could probably see something like that down in Miami, Florida, but where it never snows, or Texas. But but here in Ontario, actually that time of year, even in December, see people out in their shorts and t-shirts and sandals out golfing on a golf course, and also too the beaches stayed open that late too. Because of the heat was so bad, and it was no snow on the ground. It was nice summer weather all the way through December. I'm like, man, I'm like, this is a miracle. This is the way, if you will, I want to put it that way. Like, what we do to deserve this nice royal weather treatment. Because usually by December, everything they have to close everything down because snow gets bad or the weather gets cold, and that kind of stuff as well. But and that so again, like I said, that is what we're working for, the live haunted hunters cabin for the end of October. And then after we've finished the Haunted Hunters Cabin this year, everything is actually going to be put away, and then all the Christmas stuff is going to come out in November. And so again, we're going to put together some type of a Christmas thing on here for our live Christmas shows and that kind of stuff. We don't know yet what we're going to put on here yet. So anyhow, and that kind of thing too as well. And so Halloween night, guys, what I showed you, that was in my briefcase, that's under combination lock and key, is going to come out for Devil's Night and Halloween night. So those are the next two nights you'll see it live out, and then you don't see it for the rest of the year. Because then it is totally locked. Like I said, I've got it in a briefcase. It is totally locked, combination locked down. So it's totally under lock and key, so it's under combination lock, and so it is well looked after. So that way, and it's good because it is not in hand. It's not what you call in hand reach. It is not out in the open. So again, unless it is out for the haunted house and that kind of thing. So the good thing is, like I said, we don't get trick-or-treaters here, so we can do our live streams and that kind of thing in there, because I operate from my own apartment and that kind of stuff. We live in an apartment building, so we don't get trick-or-treaters coming to the individual doors because the superintendency of the building does not allow it. Usually the superintendency of the building will have like buy boxes of candies or Tenants usually will buy candy to donate to the front door, and somebody, the superintendent of the building, will sit down at the front door and hand it out at the front lobby. Usually that's how they do it. Now, the last few years, they haven't been doing that the last 2 years. But the first year we first moved in here, they were doing that. And that kind of thing where the trick or treaters could only come as far as the front door. Lobby security door, get down, come on down. And they couldn't come up to the individual apartment doors because there's a strict Nicky 9 door policy. Hey, get down. Well, I call it Nicky 9 dooring policy. Because at one time kids used to play with the doorbells. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, we used to do that. Even after we got candy, we went around playing Nicky 9 doors, playing with the doorbells. But in apartment building, it is a no Nicky 9 door policy. Also, too, a lot of apartment buildings have a no soliciting policy. And so basically, a part of that no soliciting policy, I guess they classify trick-or-treating as soliciting. I did not know that. Really, they're not. Kids going to the door for candy. I don't think that should have been labeled as soliciting. But according to an average high-rise apartment building, they do consider that to be soliciting. So basically what they do is they're not storming and running through the whole entire from floor to floor and going to every individual apartment door. The superintendency of the building will have like candy usually in the front lobby or down by at the bottom of the stairs in between by where the buzzer is, and they'll have like a bowl of candy there for the kids. And usually they'd have somebody sitting there handing it out and that kind of thing, supervising it, handing it out to the kids as they come through. Usually that's what apartment buildings will do and that kind of stuff as well. And that, so usually Halloween night, like I said, the live haunted house. I used to do outdoor haunted houses. But again, this is good because I got everything under wind control. That means nothing's getting wrecked or damaged. I used to have a big wooden casket that I could put a dummy into. I don't have that anymore. That is actually got destroyed in before we moved in here. That got flood damage, so we had to throw that out. That actually went to the dump. So a lot of my and then the big, I had the actual. I also used to have big actual what you call real fenticle. Actual real brick stone, gray real brick stone gravestones made out of quarry stone that kind of had fake names on it. We couldn't keep those when we moved in here, so I gave them to a friend of mine so he can use them on his yard. They were really cool because they authentically were real looking, and they were made from real stone. So again, like that was really cool in that as well. And so again, a lot of that we got rid of. We used to have masks and that kind of stuff too. And that so again we because there was a lot of stuff that got kind of storm damaged and that kind of stuff as well. And from our last outside haunted house and that, so we kind of liquidated down a lot, but it still looks good, still comes together. Basically we're down to vacuum cleaners and that kind of stuff as well. Some of my I gotta get some more rope because I did get that off. Some of the rope that I have to get is because I gotta make kind of what you call gravestone crosses and that kind of stuff as well, and that kind of stuff. So that is going to be slowly coming out, and since we're into September, and spiritual board communication will be Halloween night on October 31st, and that kind of stuff. So again, like I said, if those shows people are not comfortable with, they do not have to come in and follow those. Again, they do go live they will go live on YouTube and will go live here. And and that kind of thing as well. So again, that is for the Halloween night haunted house. So we gave you a bit of a demo on that one the other night, and that kind of thing. It gave you a bit of a kind of educational course on it a bit, and that, so you can always go back and watch that one. Oh, I did get that ring off. Now I gotta get it back, and now I gotta click it back on. And so basically there's for this kind of setup for this year's Halloween and that kind of thing, and I'm still looking around to buy. I'm thinking about buying a new PS2 memory card because I lost mine somewhere. I think the cat kicked it around the floor. I haven't been able to find it. So again, maybe probably till closer to Christmas time, I'll go to NBA games and I'll buy a new PS2 memory card. I don't need to buy a whole new system. I'm just looking just to buy the card, memory card. But everybody, I seen one where I was at the thrift store. What was the other day? And they had a PS2 system with the memory card, and I asked her if I could buy just the memory card because I just needed the memory card. She said no, she wanted to sell the whole entire system. And I'm like, well, I don't really need to buy the whole entire system. All I wanted to do was just buy the memory card. But no, they wanted to sell the whole entire system, so they were not willing to negotiate on selling just the memory card out of it. Out of the PS2, and it's just one of those ones that just slides into front. It's not one that you actually have to open with a screwdriver and take out. So I said okay. So I ended up buying some movies instead, and a T-shirt. So again, So it goes to show you that some of these Christian people can be totally assholes if they want to be, and that kind of stuff as well. Like I said, I have a few friends that are of that persuasion, and they might be all right and that kind of thing. But there is ones too that are total peckerheads. And I can honestly say that, and that kind of thing, because they think they're so high and almighty, and better than everybody else. And those are usually the hypocritical ones. I can honestly say that. But I can say that considering I'm not naming anybody by name, so I'm safe on that one. So again, I'll put a little bit of a sense of humor to that one, and that as well, and also to just try and link those in, and that kind of stuff too. And then also too, there's the odd time I go out for coffee and that kind of thing up to Tim Hortons. Now, excuse me, Tim Hortons is not bad. That this time of year, guys, I actually had the what you call pumpkin spice ice cappuccino. It is good, but I think honestly they use too much sugar, because the cappuccino itself has sugar in it, but then also too they do the pumpkin spice syrup with the whipped cream on the top. That is really, really good. You won't see me get anything like that around Christmas time because it all contains chocolate, and I'm not fond of chocolate. I'm not a chocolate lover. I hate chocolate with compassion. And that there goes garbage truck. I always hear him when he comes through. And I get one of my fisherman friends here, that kind of thing as well. And I want to put those over there because this, I've got it. It's starting to click apart now. I got to click it back there. It's driving me nuts. And so again, I'm going to get the other container. And so anyhow, guys, we've got again, you guys see the candy hearts and that skull glass. They're the cinnamon hearts from Valentine's Day. kind of making it kind of spooky. And I got my Ray Solar Cups. Toby Keith's his favorite song that he wrote, was famous for. And we're gonna put that over there. So guys, you see this here? This here is where the fake blood's gonna go in, and we got the fake blood here. So again, I put this on the axe, guys, but it is too runny. I don't want this crap all over my carpet because you won't be able to get it out. It is costume. Just let you know, it is costume liquid paint. So it is once you open it, you pour it. It is watery. So basically, we're gonna take the mason jar lid off, so you guys can see the mason jar lid. And also, too, guys, we are pretty soon I will buy a big pumpkin. Probably my next pay. I will devote that on my way through. Which is 2 weeks, and I will get a but we'll go and buy a big pumpkin, and take it and pay for it. I've been home, and I'm gonna carve it on here live for you. So this is what we're gonna put it in. Oh, I should have washed it up. And so you guys can see in there, see? Regular glass at the bottom. Glass is not gonna burn. We're gonna take this here, guys, and we're gonna open it up. And just let you know this, be careful with this stuff. This stuff stains your clothes. And oh, already I got some on me. I can always wash my hands later. So again, that is open. That is the fake blood, guys. And we're just gonna gently put that in there. And we'll let that pour in there. Red shines through purple a lot better for some reason. I should have got another jar of this stuff. And I was gonna put it in a regular wine glass, but guys, the only thing is with that would be no lid to cover it, and then the fact I do have a cat, and he likes to try to eat everything. He thinks everything's food or treats, and he gets fed. He gets fed on his regular feeding, but on top of it, he thinks it's all food. He can eat it. We're going to dispose of that. Now there's a little bit of the fake blood there, so you guys can see at the bottom. See it kind of it's red color at the bottom, guys. Kind of liquid. I'm gonna mix that around a bit, so that way you guys are gonna tilt the glass a bit so you guys can see in there. See, again, right at the bottom, you can see right through it. And we'll put the lid on. Also, too, I am going to buy more of this stuff so it can fill it up. And after Halloween, it'll be washed out. Not a problem. Put the lid on. And we're going to swish that around a bit, guys. And that kind of stuff. So that way it is actually looks, see, so it's starting to look like it is actually sticking. Make sure that is sticking around the sides, so you guys can see how she's starting to stain the sides a bit, so it looks runny, and so it looks like it's bleeding in there. So again, we're gonna go around, go totally around it. Make sure it is that. So you see it, guys. So you can see the blood dripping. So the blood is in there, guys. The fake blood is in there. Over time, we're gonna still add a little bit more to that, and and so that'd be really cool. And so again, that'd be looking at what you call very fake blood level. And there's my salami bowl. And so anyhow, this was an update for today's Chokers on Duty. We're live here in Haunted Hunter's Cabin. And thank you for tuning in. And I hope everybody has a great day. And we will see you later tonight for some more Haunted Hunter's Cabin live theater haunted fireplace. And that'll be after dark. And we'll see you guys then. Have a great night. Bye.